Hi, I am Roop, founder director of A&I Magazine, Hyderabad. Today we have young and dynamic architect Mohini from Bangalore who is recently shifted to Hyderabad. Hi Mohini, how are you?
I'm good. Hi.
How do you find Hyderabad? How different it is working in Bangalore and Hyderabad?
Well, firstly, it's hot, so I can't manage heat. But otherwise, I like it. I really love the infrastructure, and I'm staying in the newer part of Hyderabad, so it's quite inspirational and it's motivating to actually, be in the field and see the construction happen. So it's good.
What inspired to be you an architect?
Well, that's my dad. So I think many of them know this story of me wanting to be an architect when I was 5. So if anybody asked me, what do you want to become? I would be like my father. I wouldn't say an architect. And it's because he used to get all these, that time used to not have these computers and things like that. So he used to bring things home and render it at home with color pencils. And I used to just love it. So, yeah.
Where you have done your studies?
I did my entire education in Bangalore, Bishop Cotton Girls' School, then BMS College of Architecture. Then I went on to do my master's in the UK, Nottingham Trent University, in purely architecture to strengthen my base.
If I am not wrong, you are practicing since past 8 years.
Yes,
And how
that's
long
what it
it's been
is.
you are working in Hyderabad?
In Hyderabad, it's barely been a year.
Barely been a year. Okay. So reason for shifting to Hyderabad?
Oh, I got married, sadly and happily. Both because my career is like a little slower as compared to before.
As it's a new place for you.
New place, new life. I had to like get used to the different things in.
How different it is to work in Bangalore and Hyderabad when it comes to designing part, requirement parts. Does it change? Does it matter to you or it is one and the same?
No, it does matter. Different cities, it matters. In Bangalore, I feel like the people around they are more respectful towards different fields, and I didn't realize it till the time I moved and I started working in other cities as well. Like every city has its own pros and cons. Like in Hyderabad, I feel the way it is planned in terms of shopping for things, whether it's ply veneer or to the smallest of the smallest things or decor. I love it here in Hyderabad. The kind of, just for shopping, it's great. But Bangalore, it's all over the place. You have to keep searching and hunting and everything. So I think Hyderabad has done a great job like that. But in terms of getting work or the kind of work that I am used to, I would still prefer Bangalore. So yeah.
What is your forte? You are specialized into which segment like residential or commercial?
Well, I have done both. I love residential because it's more personal. And I get to understand different cultures and communities and people. I like commercial as well because I don't have to listen to anyone. It's just one brief in the beginning and then very short time. Like they give you 4 5 months and you can just finish it, speed through the whole project, which is great in its own way.
What are your ongoing projects?
Right now, we're doing resort interiors in Kannur in Kerala. Then we're doing a couple of beautiful residences, villa projects in Bangalore. We are going to be starting a couple of other farmhouses, and we're into industries, factories as well. So a couple of them going on in Bangalore. So mostly that. Right.
You are purely into consultancy or you do undertake the turnkey contracts?
We sometimes undertake turnkey. Mostly it's consultancy, and we do outsource it. And these teams are always been working with us.
What is your more interest into? Consultancy or turnkey contracting?
Consultancy, less problems. We have to deal with mainly the design aspect of it, and sometimes clients have their own people. So it's nice when we bring those. So then there's less you know uh, troubles and issues on site.
In this 8 years journey, what was your stepping stone? मतलब एक आध ऐसी कोई साइट होती है अपने पास से which changed the scenario of the community कि she can do the best करके ऐसे कौन सा प्रोजेक्ट था आपका?
Well, I have two projects like that. One, a luxury interior design in Vizag. That I think it just changed my life in terms of understanding what I could do for myself, like what I didn't think that I could do, and I did it. That, and I do have another project which is a commercial space, 26,000 square feet of commercial office space in Bangalore on MG Road. It was a Norwegian CPR training company. And there again, that was my first commercial space.
Can you just elaborate what that CPR means?
It's where they, if a person faints or anything, they have
Okay,
the,
it's related to hospitality.
yeah, related to medical.
Okay.
And they have a simulation and, you know, just training the first response team, like ambulance, all those doctors and things like that. So when they told us, like, you know, this is what you have to design, and you're like, okay, but how? And then you have to understand how they work, watch a couple of videos and things like that, and how they actually use the space was something really interesting. So that was another stepping stone for me in terms of, you know, everybody around me. And since it's a family firm, I think my father could actually say in confidence that, you know, you're ready to take on.
So your father is only your inspiration,
Of course, always, always.
and like you being a female, don't take me otherwise. It gets very tough to deal with the labor team
Yes.
because we have to scream at them, we have to scold them to work on time, deliver on time, workmanship and all. How do you deal with that? Because it is very tough for a female to be like react a lot on the sides.
That's true. It is very, very difficult. And I think that was one of the issues on site when I was doing a project. The client said that they loved working with me, but I don't shout at my people enough. So I told them that I shout at them behind the scenes, not in front of you. Um, the good thing is, like, the advantage of having your parents in the field is that you work with teams who have seen you grow up. So that advantage, you know, it gave me, where I could just tell them, like, you know, you have to work so and so. So now they've seen my dad work, they've seen my mom work, now they're seeing me work. Okay. And they are scared because tomorrow I can, you know, fire them. I do have those. They are a little scared of me because they have seen my anger, but not on them. So in those terms, it's easy. Yes, in Hyderabad, it's been a little bit of a challenge. And but I do tell people, like, this is what I am, this is who I am. I am difficult to work with, but then it is because I want to give my clients the best. So I think people do understand me. It's slow, but they understand.
What is more important for you, aesthetics or functionality?
Well, it's functionality with aesthetics. Why can't it function be aesthetic?
They can go side by side.
Yes, they can. They go hand in hand. I always, so the way I work, I always ask my client, you know, how they use a space. And then that's how I design. And sometimes I don't talk at all in the first few meetings. And then the client goes like, did you understand what I want? And when the designs come, then they get it. So, yeah.
In your 8 years journey, what was the most challenging site or challenging at one thing at a site, something of that sort?
There were quite a few challenging aspects. Sometimes I feel mainly it comes down to which vendor to choose.
Okay.
So the clients will have a couple of them, and then we have a couple of them. But then we know the kind of vendor. Some of the clients choose. We have not had a good, you know, rapport with them.
Okay.
So sometimes there are delays and things like that. Those are some of the challenges that we face. And I think on the biggest challenge any architect faces is, I think, the hatred towards Pinterest.
Okay.
That is one of the most irritating things. So I've heard that there's a European architect who literally locked up Pinterest for his clients, and I always want to know how he did it so I can do it for all my clients. But yeah, that's a major challenge.
Have you gone through our magazine, A&I?
Yes, I have.
2 words on the magazine.
Um,
How do you
it's-
find it?
Honestly, it's refreshing. So I do follow the Instagram and the small snippets, and how you always um, you're given a different platform, I would say, for architects in Hyderabad. And for a person who is new to Hyderabad, I know who is good at, you know, their job and what kind of work is there around in Hyderabad, and, you know, what kind of work I should be expecting, or, you know, the culture you actually have portrayed it really well. So that's a good thing.
how do you deal with your cranky clients? Sometimes you get a cranky clients.
Yes, I do.
Matlab,
A lot.
they have huge requirements, but they don't understand the functionality, practicality. Just they say that, "Yeah, I need this, do it anyhow." So how do you gel with them?
Uh, Honestly, what I have learned is that you have to be calm. I'm not a generally very calm, patient person, but I think architecture and interior design has taught me, you know, those kinds of things. I do come back home and I break something with anger. I have broken pencils and things like that. But in front of them, I understand them. I understand where they're coming from. But I've learned from many other very good interior designers that, you just tell them, I've told you this is what I feel. Then you can do what you want. But please don't let anybody know that, I have designed it. So there are ways of I've convincing clients basically, and I feel like the word "I told you so" it kind of works out for me.
And what is your designing process generally? Matlab, how do you start
Um,
the site?
the site. So basically, when we get a project, I want to understand what they want and their requirements and things like that. And then I have depending on what kind of project it is, I send them a questionnaire so that they can fill it out. It just has like what kind of aesthetics and things like that, just to understand. I talk to them a lot. I ask them like if they like a couple of, different designs and things like that, what they like. Then we have a basic presentation. If it's a very big project, then with the 3D and things like that. If it's a smaller project, then we just do layouts first. If they like that, then we go on to detailing it out. And once everything is frozen, we start production and execution on site.
So basically, you are an architect, but you take care of architects and interiors both.
Interiors both.
Yeah.
Yes.
Generally, every architect or interior designer or professional of the industry, they have their own signature.
Yes.
Seeing the project, you can say, कि, "भाई, this project is of architect Mohini.
Yeah.
This is of Ahmed sir. This is for Vinod Basla sir."
Yes.
So, what is your signature generally?
Well, I think it is use of smoked veneer. That is one thing. Our firm really likes those warm tones of wood. Um, and I think this is as per my father. I don't know. But he says that any project that I have done, he knows it because I use a lot of diagonal lines, like grooves or, the way I place my veneer and things like that. There are a lot of diagonal, design language that I follow. So maybe that. I'm not too sure, but maybe that.
Final question. This is about to educate the aspiring designers. Can you just let us know about any of your two projects, commercial or residential? What challenges you have faced? How you have solved? How you were able to solve the problems at the site? How you met all the requirements of your client? So, any of the two projects, can you just brief them about us?
I would like to start with a house that we were working on in Bangalore. And the architecture was, the main construction of the building was done. And we had just started with the interiors when COVID struck. And it was really hard. But one good thing was that all of them were staying on site. So we had to work with, just video calls. And for this project, it was like I was actually working with my parents. So I think the one challenge older people face is technology. Like, it's we just don't want to. Like, even me, I don't like softwares and technology a lot more than the newer generation. So I think that was one thing that we faced, that we didn't like video site visits.
Okay. No virtual meetings.
Virtual meetings were very, very irritating. Half the time when the video is stuck. And again, you have to explain it to your carpenters and painters to actually hold the camera a certain way. That was one thing. And again, I think you had asked me this question before about how it is to be a female on site. And when we were on site, especially with we were designing the basics of landscape, and the client was very well versed with plants. So he wanted to take over, some of the aspects of that. So I had just given a plan, like this is what you could do. But the gardener who actually came to help us out with, actually planting all those, he would just not listen to me. And even if I shouted at him, yelled at him, did whatever, that was like one of the most irritating times on site. And the funny part was I had to tell the contractor, and he had so much work to do. And then the contractor would just literally, retell him like whatever I said, and then he would do it. So I think those were the challenges we faced. And another challenge in the same project was again getting materials on site. You know, it was quite a big residence, and it was hard. Those
Due to COVID,
due to COVID.
pandemic.
Yeah, due to the pandemic and all those things. But generally, it is about so many vendors being there on site. And even in the office space, I think that was the first time when I had like about 20 people there on site with me. And I would, again, I think other than being a woman, it's also my height. Uh, I'm short. So, I'm not really seen on site sometimes. And all these people who were working with me were really tall. And there were times when my father wouldn't assist me. Like I would just go and do it on my own because he wants me to take over. And I think managing that many vendors and telling them that this is what it is, and signing all those documents, making sure that they are the ones that you issued, and then signing them on site, and all those things. Like, sometimes the client wants a certain thing, and then there is a timeline to it, and then the vendors forget to order it, and that's when you're stuck in between because it's not your fault. You've already mentioned it to everybody, but you have to kind of take the brunt and kind of solve it because that's your job in the end.
So you can say that the pandemic has polished you to select the materials and all,
Oh yes.
even in the tough times.
Yes. I think for me, the pandemic was a blessing in disguise, because that's where my career actually kickstarted and it accelerated. For me, it was really good. I had just come back from my master's, and it really helped me that
Okay.
time. So yeah.
So this was the most, matlab you want to give this message to the youngsters.
Youngsters. And one more thing that I just want to add is that, especially when it comes to architecture and interiors, like I know in our country we have like random people coming, and they just learn a little bit and then they come and do what we do. But I feel like there has to be some sort of, you know, it should not only be passion. You have to educate yourself in a very, very
In
good
short, you want to say don't become a Pinterest.
don't become a Pinterest, and you can't just draw things and say tell the carpenter ye kar do, because proportions, scale, those are like principles of design. You have to like educate yourself.
Fine. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It was wonderful talking to you.
Same
So
here.
nice to hear about your journey.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.